Hey everyone, it's John Miller again. Just want to give you a quick notice to remind you to check the feed this weekend, the Rest of Everest podcast feed, because I'm going to be putting out a bonus episode to get you introduced to a friend of mine. His name's Alan Arnett, and he is on the road back to Everest. He is going to be climbing Everest this spring, and he's training for it right now, and he's actually leaving this week for Shishapangma, the 14th highest mountain in the world. He's going to do that as a training climb, and we're going to be following him on that. So new content from the Rest of Everest coming down as I start to switch gears, get rid of the 2003 expedition and get into the future. And Alan is part of the future of the show. So stay tuned for that. It should come out sometime this weekend. I'm not exactly sure, but I think you're really going to enjoy it. Alan is a phenomenal individual, and he's raising money. He's climbing for a cause. So you'll hear all about that this weekend. So just remember to check the podcast feed sometime over the weekend. All right, on to the show. Here we go.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 58, Puppies and Lamas.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm John Miller, joined again with Ben Clark out in Telluride. How you doing, Ben?
Awesome, John. It's another beautiful day right here in the Telluride Valley.
Haven't had you on for a while. I'm really glad to have you back, and I'm glad to hear what you have to say about today's episode. You probably remember this when we had some visitors again, and you had a satellite phone, which was very popular.
Yeah, anytime you get to communication, everybody wants to use it. So we definitely did everything we could to allow people to call their friends and relatives from the middle of nowhere.
The middle of nowhere, and at this point in the expedition, everyone was getting ready to go home. So, you know, there's still more episodes coming up, so everyone please still stay subscribed. And if you're just joining us for the first time, stop what you're doing and go to episode 0 and work your way forward. But enough of that, as I like to say. Let's get back up to base camp. Here we go. All right, so what you're seeing here, some indigenous wildlife. Actually, probably not so indigenous, but yeah, this morning.
Or necessarily wild.
I went outside my tent, and there were these two little puppies, and I was like, oh man, I have to get some footage of that. I am a dog lover myself, and I think these were these puppies. You'll see the other one in a second here. Cute as could be. Up at 17,000 feet at Everest Base Camp, but I think they belong to the Chinese, like the head guy of the Chinese team with CCTV. I think they belong to him, but I'm not 100% sure. But I had heard these dogs barking at night throughout the expedition, but this is the first time I had seen them.
Yeah, it's nothing like listening to dogs bark at night. This last trip I took to Tibet and the other one in China, it's just a constant, just woo, 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 woo. Just never stops. Not like listening to an American dog.
Right.
They have discipline in America. These dogs just go and go and go until they're done.
Well, they're also not speaking English.
No, they're not. They're not. They're speaking more Chinese. Mandarin.
Mandarin, yes, they're speaking Mandarin. That was fun, though. That was kind of funny to see them. They blend in pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the first visitors of the day. And we, you know, everyone's getting ready to leave, and we were just tying up loose ends. And this is our friend the Lama who performed our puja.
Let's see. How many days? April 4th, April 14th through today.
40-something.
They have 44 days.
Long time.
Almost long as you.
Yes.
So long.
No, very nice.
But we made it, and I know it was partly your responsibility. I appreciate you being so good to us. Lakpa and Lawang too.
Two Shava you and
Get up there. Get back safe. Fingers, hands. Everything's good, yeah. Got them all.
No problem.
I know, no problem.
It's very nice.
I know,
No problem.
yeah.
I understand.
You like that?
Yeah, he really didn't want you to shave your beard off.
No change.
No change? You think I should keep it? Nice.
Yeah, well, I've grown a few since then. Feels a little bit better now. A couple other guys.
It was a good time. Yeah. Glad to be safe.
Yeah, so you know, one of the traditions in the culture up there is that if you need anything, you can stop into any little settlement, and you can get some food, and you can get a place to sleep, and
It's here.
and as Ben offers here, you can make some phone calls too.
All right. That's no problem.
Anytime.
Yeah, he's saying there. See, I told you guys, this guy will do whatever I ask him to do.
Whatever I ask. He even gives us tea.
Yeah, but we were always having people stop by, and Dawa would serve them tea or give them something to eat, and really a traditional custom there. And you know, because everyone's got to work together to survive over the millennia in these harsh cultures, and so it's just, you know, you can just expect to go and get some food somewhere. It's really nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting way of life.
There's his little black book.
Oh, yeah. He said, I can make some phone calls, huh? Oh, well, maybe I'll make about 30. Well, actually, I've got a book here. Since you offered.
Is Tibet or Kathmandu?
Kathmandu.
So I wish I knew exactly who he was calling, but you know, chances are it's a family member or a friend who you know, snuck out of the country to, you know, get some education in Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell.
It's not Domino's or Pizza Hut. I know that.
Pretty sure about that.
That's for sure. I'd never seen those other friends of his. One that looks like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, they're funny. Of course, you know, today, now this is actually, this is really dated, this footage now, because back in 2003, you would have had to wait for someone to come with a satellite phone. Now, I am almost positive, having returned to base camp in April of this year, that they all have cell phones.
Yeah. Well, they put that tower. I mean, they're good to go now.
But China Mobile has made it very easy for people to get cell phones, and so all of these yak herders and whatnot, they have very little, but they have these state-of-the-art cell phones, and they're constantly texting each other.
Oh, yeah. It was just like that in Sichuan this last year. We had a guy, couldn't tell us, couldn't communicate to us what he was trying to say. He picks a little phone about half the size of a BlackBerry, the little Pearl BlackBerry, and he takes a stylus out, writes into it in Chinese characters, and then he turns it towards us, and it says, "What time to wake?" Translated. We were like, "Oh yeah, 9."
That's crazy.
Of course, that's on your cell phone. Where else would you put it? Translator. God, we're saying that we're paying $2 a night to stay in that hotel.
There, now he's gotten through.
Like, this guy let me use his cell phone again. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
he's like, talk for an hour.
He's like, I really don't have anything to say, but hey, he's let me use it for free, so I thought I'd just call you up.
I always told you, if I ever got a phone, I'd call. Well, here I am.
This guy was so nice, and you know, you guys might not totally recognize him because he's not. He's wearing his traditional robes and everything underneath his jacket. But if you go back to the episodes where we had our puja ceremony, he was one of the ones performing the puja, the blessing ceremony, before the climb started. And also, you remember at the end of the windstorm that Ben went down to visit him at the monastery, and they prayed together, and he gave Ben a Coca-Cola. And
yeah, he's cool. I really enjoyed his company. His vibe was really good.
Yeah.
That's pretty important around there. I mean, you can't communicate too much other than just, a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got. But you can sense good people anywhere, I believe.
They're just so friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, at this point in time in 2003, having the ability to call outside of the country for these guys was probably a real treat. And so this is, we take it for granted that you can just make a phone call and call, your friends, but, some of their friends could be hundreds of kilometers away.
Yep.
Although the Lama there, our buddy, he had a motorcycle. And he'd always drive it into base camp.
Instead of walking 7 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, each way.
Each way, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like they might be talking to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, I don't have a clue what they're saying. I doubt any of us do, but you can kind of tell what's going on. They're telling someone, and the one guy's like, okay, yeah, tell him this. No, okay, tell him that. It's just so funny.
Snoop Dogg over his right shoulder there.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it being an Iridium phone, we lost the satellite connection.
It's being modern at that point. Not state of the art anymore.
Now you can also see the culture there. Men tend to sort of hang on each other, and here in the West, at least in America, you have a very specific sense of personal space, and there's just really no such thing in Tibet. And so, best friends and whatnot, they're always hanging on each other and everything, and it's a little bit disconcerting at first when you get there because you're just not used to seeing men hanging on each other quite so frequently. But it's I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's just whatever. Comfort is king.
Yep.
And over there, that's what they've got. Just hanging out. And a lot of men you'd see would smoke. I never saw a woman smoking a cigarette.
Really? I don't remember that at all.
I noticed that this year, too. It was like, I think out of the thousands of people I saw, maybe one woman I finally saw in Tibet was smoking a cigarette. That was interesting.
I love his little book. That just cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice though. Having those satellite phones is a big thing, and whenever I go on a trip now, I bring one with me, not just to use for myself. I make a point of calling my wife frequently, but just allowing other people to use it. I buy the minutes and I write them off. So if anyone wants to use it, I let them use it, and it can really make such a difference, and it can help you, strengthen a bond with people. There's Boca.
Huge.
You can see Boca got some free Royal Navy swag.
Yeah, he did. That's a pretty pimpin' little hat he's got there going there.
Yeah.
Start snooping and trying to wrangle that from him. And that was at one time a white down jacket.
Yep.
There on the right.
Once again, showing that you don't get the opportunity to wash clothing very much out there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and a lot of the clothing looked like it was leather, but it actually was nylon. It just was filthy.
Yes. It's just coated leather. Coated nylon.
And this is also obviously not the most exciting of episodes. There's Bertrand. But, it kind of shows what happens. You kind of stick around, you hang out, and you spend time with people who speak a different language with you. And although you don't really know what they're saying, you just smile and you play along, and it all works out. It's all part of the experience.
It's all interpersonal communications.
All right.
Fingers, eyes, and thumbs.
Yeah, you'd be surprised just how far a smile can get you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And a wink on occasion.
There you go. All right, so next week we are going to take a little bit of a walking tour. I'm going to show you a little bit more of what base camp was like for the Tibetans who were there, because there was a whole cottage industry would spring up around the tourism involved with Everest Base Camp in Tibet. So you're going to get a look at sort of what goes on, basically at the southern end of base camp, and actually it would probably be the northern end of base camp, and see how life was there for the people who actually lived in the area. So thanks so much for joining us, Ben. I really appreciate you having you back on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be around. Definitely, summer has finally slowed down for me a bit, and I've got time to breathe for a few minutes.
Rock on. Well, we'll have you next week.
You got it.
All right, see you, everyone. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywu.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.